Hi everyone and welcome. In this live stream, we are going to continue doing something about maps because in the last one, I helped you create an hexagon based on a coordinate on a map. In this one, we are going to continue with that again, but we are going to be using, or we are going to try to use the API from Google in the correct way, meaning using environment variables, using the key in the Google, using Google documentation, and trying to create a route in our map based on the response from Google. Remember, I told you last time that we needed a function or a way to transform a polyline represented as a string and transform it to coordinates in an array. We already have that. We didn't deploy that to you yet, but we are going to. So I'm going to be showing you some features that are not yet ready for you, but that are already functional. And you can use it when this update is available or when this update is live. So for now, I'm going to show it to you. So let's check it out. First let me share my screen. There you go. Okay, I can see it. And let's open an example. Here I have a lot of projects. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. And here I'm going to open one of them. And let's remove everything from the project so we can start from scratch, right? The second part that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a map, as always. There you go. And we can run this, right? Let's open our console right here, and you can see the map is right here. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. There you go. And here, let's open the console again, like so. And let's go to this part, which is the debug section. In this section, we can see the logs. And here in the logs, I have all the logs that are already here in my application. I have logs already because I did use this application for other examples. So that is why I have these logs right here. But right now I want to draw a polyline. What is a polyline? A polyline is a representation of a path in the map. It is composed by a list of coordinates. The coordinates that compose the polyline will draw a line in the map wherever I want to put them. So let's build a demo that allows us to build a polyline manually without any intervention from other APIs, right? And after that, we can create a polyline from an API, in this case, Google. So let's add a button right here and an onPress event. In this onPress event, let's add a modify control because we want to modify this map right here. And let's read from the map the region. Remember, the region contains the latitude and longitude from the current location on the map, right? The next part, it's going to be, give me a moment, I'm going to open my notes because I have some notes on the polygon part. There you go. Okay. Okay, I can see it now. Each polygon in the map, each map can have multiple polygons, and each polygon can have multiple coordinates. So let's add the first coordinate. I remember this exercise was already done. I don't remember if in Spanish or in English, but I'm going to repeat it a little bit faster now because I need it in order for you to understand how to create polylines from lines that Google returns to us. So let's modify the map and let's modify the property polygons. And let's modify the property. Here, I need a path to a property inside the polygons property that gives me an unique polygon that we can draw on the map. So we need to generate a new ID and a new ID for each coordinate. So let's add another function, which is called string interpolation. There you go. And let's put the string interpolation above the modify control. This one is going to be called path to polygon coordinate. The first part of this path is going to be the ID of the polygon. In this case, is going to be P1 dot. The second part is going to be the property name coordinates. That's static and is the same in all polygons. The next property is going to be the ID of this specific coordinate. So in this case, I'm going to open brackets with the $sign at the start. And here, let's put coordinate ID. There you go. And for each coordinate, I'm going to be using an UID, so each one is unique. After that, I'm going to be using this path to modify this control. So here, instead of putting only polygon, let's put path to polygon coordinate. Polygons.p1.coordinates. And the ID of this coordinate in particular, right? So with that, we can start constructing polygons here in my application. Let's restart the application. And here, let's click one time. Let's click a second time. And you can see now that I am drawing a polygon, right? But we already built polygons when we were writing hexagons in our screen. But now I want to draw a path without filling it, right? So give me a moment. I'm going to show you now how to create a path. Give me a moment. I am searching for it. Okay, roads, polylines. Okay, it's almost exactly the same. The only difference is that the coordinates, the value, is not polygons, is routes. There you go. And the path is exactly the same, I believe. Let's try it out. And here, instead of putting P1 as in polygon, let's put route 1 as in route. Okay, let's try it out. Let's restart the application. And let's click here, click here, click here. Nothing is happening. I don't know why. Because we did put routes. Let me check if everything is correct, because I don't know. Map routes. Okay. Oh, there is linear routes, right? Give me a moment. I am trying to checking it out. Okay, valueIsRecord, routes. It's an object. Okay. Each one of these has to have, okay, it should be a record. Origin and destination. Okay. Give me a moment. I am trying to decipher how to create a route, because I don't remember how to. Okay, I can put an array of coordinates inside this one. Okay, so give me a moment. Let's put here. Okay, coordinates. And coordinates is going to be a filter from the routes. Okay, I can create an array with these values, right? So let's put here, instead of UID, we can use an array and push to it. But let's try another way. For example, give me a moment. Okay, if the routes are on a record, it needs a destination and an origin. Okay, and the origin, okay, latitude, longitude, destination. Okay, values string. I am checking out how to create a route. Okay, I see now. Okay, let me create an array based on the coordinates that we have, right? Code compute is the function that I am going to be using to create the routes now. Okay, in this code compute, I need to pass it the value from the map.region. So we can use that region to create the routes. So for now, let's return the arcs, so we can see the value of my route directly, right? So let's remove everything else, and let's add a debug log. And this debug log will print the value from the code compute, right? Let me remove this one. And here, let's rename the function to something meaningful. In this case, routes, map routes. There you go. And now let's run this so we can see what happens. Okay, let's click on it. Let's click on it. And you can see here, it gets me the region. The region contains this one, which is not important from now, and it contains the latitude and the longitude. So let's use the latitude and the longitude to generate an array, right? So here, instead of passing the, we need another property in our arguments. The other property that we need is not only the region from the map, but the original value on the routes. So we can create a new one. So let's add another function, which is called object build. So we can pass two values to our function, to our code compute function. Let's put the object build here. Let's put the code compute here, and let's add another entry. And the first entry that we are going to be adding is the region, and the region comes from the map. There you go. And let's add another property, and this property is going to be called routes. Sorry, I didn't remember what we were doing. Okay, so now we have to read the routes from the map, right? There are no routes in this list, but doesn't matter. We can add the property directly. So we can check out the map there, and let's put here. That's a little bit strange, because it should give me the property here, so I can add another one, but I think it's not really possible, right? Whole element, region. That's a shame, because I should be able to do that, right? So let's add the complete map here, and let's put here map data. So let's check it out. Let's check if this works. Let's restart. There you go. Click on this one. Click on this one. Okay, it is returning me only the region, right? Oh, because in the code compute, I didn't put the complete value. So I will not be using the object build. I thought we will be able to access only the map.routes here, but that was not the case. So instead, I'm going to access all of the map and return it, so we can check it out in the console. Let's refresh here. There you go. Click on it. Okay, here is the complete map, and here I should be able to see the routes. For now, it doesn't have any routes because we didn't actually put any routes on it. So let's put here return routes args.routes, and region equals to args.region. Okay, let's check it out. Let's restart again. And here we can click on it. And there you go. We have no routes, and we have the current region. So now let's build the routes depending on the value that the maps already has. So here, let's put routes. It's going to be equal. I'm going to maximize the editor so I can edit a little bit more comfortably. So routes is going to be equal to args.routes, or collapse to an empty array when there are no routes, right? And there you go. This is the initial one. So let's create a new one, because we have to concatenate a new value. In this case, it's going to be args.region. Okay, but the routes is an object, and each route contained in it is going to be a new key. So we need to add here route 1 equals to a new object, and this object is going to be, sorry, this one is actually an array, right? And this array will contain this new array. Sorry, this new array is not needed. We only need to spread the original one, app.routes.route1. Let's put here an optional chaining, so the value from routes will collapse to undefined when routes doesn't exist yet, right? So let's do that, and let's check it out. Let's check if this works. So here, let's restart. Click on it. Okay, routes is still undefined, but it's because I didn't return the value that we create up. So let's change it up. Change it out. There you go. And let's click on it. Okay, and now it is creating me a new object, which is called routes. And inside each route, it's going to have an array, right? If I click again, 2 times more, I can check the routes here. Okay, it's only giving me one value. I don't know why. It should be giving me new values with more routes each time I access to it, because I am concatenating the value from the routes that were originally there, right? So let's do something to debug this mess. The first thing is going to be original routes. So we can get the routes from the arguments. And then instead of doing this, let's return it like so. There you go. With that, I am going to return an object that contains the original routes and gives me the new routes as well. So I can see if everything is working correctly. For now, the original routes is an undefined value. That's correct. Let's add again. Okay, everything is working. I forgot to actually assign this to the map. So let's add here a modify control. And in this modify control, let's access the map routes value, sorry, which is the new object that I built. Let's put that on the original map, and the property is going to be routes. Okay, check it out. Restart this one. Click on it. Something is not actually working. Cannot read properties of undefined. Reading latitude. Where did I put a latitude? Okay, because it's an array, right? Routes is an array and it has these values. Let me check out something. Okay, routes, map.routes. Okay, it should be an array. Okay, let's return instead only the array instead of a complete object. So here, let's remove this one and let's put this one like so. Close it. And here, let's refresh it. Let's click on it. Let's click again. Let's click again. Let's click again. Okay. Now it is working, but it only gives me one. The reason it only gives me one is because here I am accessing a value which is called route 1, which doesn't exist anymore. Now it's directly the routes. Let's try it out. Let's restart this one. Click on it. Click on it. Click on it. Okay, now it is actually concatenating the values, right? Here there are the values 0, 1, 2, and 3 are coordinates. Each coordinate is the one that is currently on the map when I press the button, and it's going to keep concatenating them. So let's do a little bit more modifications. The first one is that right here, I am only going to return the array instead of the previous value, which was a debug value anyway. So the other thing that I'm going to be modifying is this one. It should return the maps routes, which is the code compute. And let's restart this. It should work exactly the same. It won't show me the routes in the map. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, everything is working now, but it doesn't matter because it's not giving me the routes, right? Okay, give me a moment. Let me check what's happening. Oh, I can see the problem. The problem is that we are using routes and we should be using linear routes. So let's go back right here. Let's put here linear routes, args.region, linear routes here, region. And instead of putting everything like here, let's add an object, a key route 1. And here, inside of this one, let's add this property, and this property is going to be, okay, entries route, row route, and the route is going to be put as an array. Okay, let's add the array directly and see if it works, like so. And let's again add here the optional chaining dot route 1, so we can collapse it to a new array if everything is working correctly. And now in my modify controls, instead of putting routes here, let's put linear routes and check it out. Restart this one. Click on this one. Click on this one. There you go. We are now building our polyline, right? And our polyline that is drawing the map is going to be the representation of these values right here, right? So now let's try to use the new functions from Apphive to obtain a polyline that we can draw here from the string polyline that Google API returns to us. Google Maps API polyline string. Let me check. There you go. We have a polyline creator. Oh, okay. Okay, add 1, add 2, add 3, add 4, add 5. There you go. Now, this one that we have right here, it's a polyline. This polyline is represented as a string. The reason Google does that is because this polyline that right there is a little bit more, is shorter than giving me the coordinates directly. But the problem is that when we are using the API from Google, we have to transform that line into routes that we can show on the map, right? So if we return to our map, and before we do all of this, let's remove this debug log. We know that this already works, and let's add here another code compute. And this code compute will receive that polyline created from Google as a string, and let's put a debug log before this polyline and print the value from the code compute. Inside the code compute, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Return apphive dot, I don't remember the values, give me a moment. The value is apphive dot google dot maps dot the code polyline. This function right here will take the args, which is a string, and will return us an array with the coordinates represented by the polyline. So let's try it out. Click, and there you go. It gives me 7 coordinates, right? But because we are here in Mexico and the route is here in where was it? I think it was in San Francisco, in Chicago. Sorry, I thought it was San Francisco, but no, it was Chicago. So we need to go here in the map in my application so we can show you the polyline, right? So instead of using this code compute right here, let's use the one from the polyline, from polyline string. There you go. And here in modify control, okay, let's not return directly this one. Let's return an object with route 1 and this one. There you go. And here in the modify control, instead of putting map routes, which are right here, let's add from polyline string. Okay, the other thing is going to remain the same. Let's try it out. Let's click on this one. Okay, there you go. Let's zoom out and let's go back to Chicago. Okay, nothing is showing up. I don't know why. Because I did put the coordinates, right? Okay, let's check it out. The array is correct. Here it is. And each one of the polylines has a latitude and a longitude. So here from string polyline, that's correct. Let's put here linear routes. And let's refresh it. Click on it. I'm going to make the map center automatically to the origin or to the end of the polyline, so we don't have this problem, because I think the route is really there. The problem is that we don't see it. because it's too small. I believe that's the problem, because I think it's right here. There you go. That's the line, right? Okay, my line is too small and it doesn't go anywhere. I don't know why. So let's check it out. Here, when I do that, the array that we get are 7 coordinates, and now I see the problem. Now the problem is that the route is actually exactly the same, so we are not able to. Okay, each coordinate in the route is almost the same, so that is why we are seeing a dot there. So let's use the API from Google to create our polyline, right? Google Maps API directions. The directions API help us create a direction, a route from 2 points, right? So let's add it. Here it is the entry point that we will be using. Let's remember we have to use that from cloud, because we are going to be using a key that is not publishable. So let's add here get route, and let's put it back here, route, like so. Let's generate it. And here, let's put only one callback, which is going to be called then. And after that, let's add here an HTTP request. And this HTTP request, let's paste the same URL that we have in the documentation. It's going to be a get, because we are going to query a value from here. And after that, let's add the params. The params are going to be our destination, or origin, and our key. So let's add them in an object build. The object build will contain the values that we are going to pass to our request. The first one is going to be the origin. Remember, origin, like so. Remember, we are using this model right here. So the origin is going to be latitude, comma, longitude. So we need a latitude and a longitude. Google Maps. Let's open Maps. And let's move the map to another location, maybe right there. And here, this is the location. So we can put the location right here. That's the origin. Let's add another entry. Let's add the destination. And the destination is going to be exactly the same format. Sorry about that. Google always puts me this menu, which is a little bit annoying. But now the destination should be another coordinates, like about there. So let's copy the coordinates and let's put them here. Okay, there you go. We have the destination, we have the origin. We need another entry, which is going to be our key. Okay. Also, let's put something from now so we can see what happens when we do this request. Let's change the name of this object build to params, like so. And after that, let's add the params to the HTTP request, like right here. And after that, let's return the values. In the catch, we have to put the response.data, but from the HTTP request, right? So let's put HTTP request.response.data. And in the then, let's do something similar, but it's only going to be .data, like so. Let's try it out. Let's activate this on cloud so we can call it, and it's going to be from the server. Let's remove everything right here, and let's add here the get route function. There you go. And let's print the value here from the client. Okay, get route. Let's go back here and let's refresh the application so we can see what happens. There you go. Let's wait to see the value returned. There you go. There is an error, and the error is the provider API key is invalid. That means we need to create a new key. Let's go to Google Cloud Platform. Create Maps API key. There you go. And now let's search how to create the API key. We already did this in another one, so let's go to the console here. And here in my console, let's select the project. I already have a project to test this one. I believe this is the correct one. And let's create credential. Let's create an API key, right? There you go. Here is my key. Let's close this one and let's personalize the key. Remember to always document your keys. This one is going to be app example directions API. And here, let's restrict the key and let's put here only the directions API is going to be called from this API key. Let's save it. And now we have the key here. And to use the key, let's copy it. Let's go back here. And here, let's go to the project dashboard. Here in environment variables. And in development, let's add a new key. This is going to be directions API key. Okay, let's add this value in development and let's add the same value in production and apply the changes. Now this is going to upload my key, but because it will take a while because it needs to deploy my cloud functions, I can for now use directly the key here, which is not going to be there in the end, but for now it is okay because we are trying out. This part is not actually a real application, but we should be using the key from the environment variables, right? There you go. Now we have the geocoded waypoints, and here you can see it returns me place IDs and types, right? And here there are the routes. The routes are the ones that I want to use, and here you can see copyrights, lefts. And here we can see override polylines, a key, and here are the points that we are going to be using. So now in my client, I need to get these points and convert them into an array, right? So let's go back here to my button, and instead of doing a debug log right here, let's add here a code compute. The code compute will receive the value from the get routes the get route call to our server, and let's first check if the value returned has this property, call it routes. Okay, so first let's put here if args or type of args is not object, return an empty array, or args is equal to null, right? Because we need to make sure args is actually an object, so we can try the properties that are inside of it. Now let's access routes like so, and let's return them. So we can see only the routes, right, from the response. So let's close this one. Let's collapse the code compute, and let's add a debug log right here, and let's here add the code compute, and let's try it out, right? Let's restart this one. Let's go back here and click. There you go. It brings me the routes from here. And now I need to check if the routes is an object that it contains an overview polyline. So let's try that out. Here, let's open again the code compute. And here, if routes or type of routes, it's not an object, or routes, it's a null value, return an empty route. Now we can see that these and these are exactly the same logic. The only difference is the value that we put on it. So let's add a function here that is called valueIsRecord. Okay, and let's pass a new value, okay, which is called value, and let's add all of these here, and let's copy this instead of args, and here let's add if value is record args, return this one, right? But here it should be like so. The type value should be object, and it should not be null. Okay, so now let's use the same function here in routes. There you go. And now we should be able to see exactly the same, an empty array, and here only the routes. Let's try it out. Click. There you go. It returns me the routes, but the routes, it's an array. It's an array with only one overview polyline. So value is record, type of value. Okay, the value is not a record. Const value is array equals value array dot val is array value. Okay, let's check this out, because the routes object, the routes is not an object, it's an array, right? So let's try it out. Okay, click on this one. There you go. And now we only need the first property. So if the routes array dot length it's less than 1, let's return an empty array. So we make sure the routes array has at least one element. So let's remove this element, route. It's equal to routes. And let's return only that route. And let's return to here and restart this one. There you go. Let's click on it. Got exceeded. You cannot route more app processes. Sorry about that. I have to upgrade my subscription. I'm going to remove my screen a little bit. Give me a moment. I just need to upgrade my subscription. Give me a moment. It's not going to take a lot longer. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, I know what to do. Give me a moment. I'm going to try something out. Okay. Okay. Okay, there you go. Let's continue. Now, if I try it out again, there you go. I have the only route in my response from Google. And the other thing that I want to check if this route contains an overview polyline. So let's return here to our code, which is right here. Let's expand this one. And let's put here if value is record. Oh, sorry, I didn't put the correct name. I name it record, and it should be a record with a D. Route, return an empty array, and if it is a record, let's extract the property overview polyline, right? Equals to route, and let's return only the overview polyline. Let's check it out. Restart this one. Click on it. And there you go. We have an overview polyline, and it has a property which is called points. So if value is record, overview polyline, return an empty array, and let's extract the points value, right? Const points equals to overview polyline, and let's return that. Okay, there you go. Let's restart the application. Let's click on it. There you go. Now it is printing me only the polyline as a string, but we don't want the polyline as a string, right? We need the polyline as an array of values. So let's add another validator here. Value is string, value, type of value, it's equal to string. There you go. So now, if points is not a string, let's return an empty array. There you go. And here, let's put apphive.maps. Google maps and the name of the function, it's the code polyline points. There you go. Let's try it out. Restart this one. Click on it. And there you go. We have 82 points in my route, right? Now we have to plot that in our system. To do that, let's close this one. And here, not only we are going to be adding a new function, which is called modify control again. And let's send the value from the code compute. Let's change the name of the code compute to get route array from request. There you go. And here, the element is going to be the map, sorry. And here, let's put the linear routes. And here, linear route 1. Okay, let's try it out. Restart this one. Click on it. There you go. Now you can see it creates us a route from here to here, only with an array, right? We created the array based on the polyline that was returned to us from Google API. So what is the advantage of doing this? The advantage is very simple. The advantage is that you have control over how many times you do the request to the Google API. We can see here the quotas or the metrics. There you go. Those are the metrics. Let's add here a filter. Let's add response code per day, APIs. Let's remove all the APIs and let's only add the directions API, right? There you go. And now we can see the values from the next hour. There is nothing already registered here. I don't know why, but it should. Quotas, directions API, requests. Okay. Today we already make 6 requests. Okay, that's not bad at all. But we can check here whether we are suspicious that our API key is a little bit overused. Now, the other thing that I want to do before we forget is that we put the value from the environment variables here, right? It is still loading it. I don't know why. It should be ready in a little bit. But from now, let's use it directly, like so. And the last thing that I want to do, well, okay, the next thing, sorry, that I want to do in the next live is how to create this polyline from points set by this button right here, right? Because we are making the request in the server with a latitude and a longitude that is not actually here, right? We have time to try it out. So let's put here set origin, like so. And let's copy the button, sorry, send, and here set origin. Let's add here a modify control that will create a new marker in the origin, right? So let's put here map region, and let's put here map markers origin, right? Let's try it out. So now we create the marker that represents of our origin, right? So let's create another button. Let's copy the one we have here. Let's name this one set destination. There you go. And this one, instead of calling it origin, destination, like so. There you go. Let's return here. Now we can set the origin and set the destination. And now I want to press this button and create the polyline for that route right there. So in order to do that, first we need to create the parameters that we are going to be sending to the get route function. The first one is going to be an string interpolation, which is going to contain the origin string, right? It's going to have the latitude, comma, longitude. So the latitude, it's going to come from the map, the markers, and origin dot latitude. There you go. And the longitude comes from the same place, the map, the markers, the origin dot longitude, like so. Let's print this out before sending that. Let's put a debug log here, and let's add here the origin string. Return back here. Let's restart this one. Let's click the origin, let's click the destination, and let's send. Okay, it's giving me this right here, which is not exactly what I want, right? Because I want only this marker, right? Which is origin.latitude. Why is it giving me a latitude as an object? And the same with the longitude. A little bit strange, don't you think? Because it should be giving me, and okay, let's do that with a code compute. I think it's going to be easier, right? Let's add a new code compute right here. Let's put here strings, and let's put here map dot markers. Let's return args to see what happens there. Let's remove this string interpolation, and let's return here the compute strings. Return back here, restart, click, and click. And let's click on this one. Okay, there you go. Origin and destination, latitude, longitude. Okay, so let's return here instead of that, origin and destination. And the origin is going to be equal to args.markers. Which one is the next value? Origin, like so, dot latitude. Let's put only latitude for now, so we can see what happens, right? Let's put here latitude, like so, and let's copy this line to the destination and change the value from origin to destination, like so. Let's try it out. Let's restart this one. Click in origin, click in destination, and let's send. Code compute error, cannot read properties of undefined, reading origin. Okay, why is it giving me that? args.marker.destination.latitude. But it's actually, okay, it's without the markers property, right? Let's try it out again. Set, send. There you go. We have an origin and we have a destination right here. But the origin and the destination should be created by the latitude and longitude, not only the latitude. So let's remove this one. Let's put here latitude, comma, and longitude. And the same for the other one, right? Let's put it right here. Let's full screen because I think it's going to be a little bit easier. And here, let's put destination in this one. Let's try it out. There you go. We have now the properties as Google needs them, right? So now, instead of using this one directly, let's put here in the get route process. Let's add the inputs, the origin and destination. And let's add these values here. Instead of putting the debug log here, let's expand the process. And here, let's add compute strings, origin. And here, let's put the compute strings, destination. And now, let's make sure the app process receives these values. How I'm going to do that? Let's use another debug log. And let's first print the origin property. Okay, origin, there you go. Now let's go back here. Let's restart this one. set origin, set destination, and send. Okay, everything is working there. Let's go to here and to the section logs. And here we have one from cloud. Okay, it's giving me the correct origin, right? So now instead of putting here the origin directly, let's add it from the property that we pass to the function. And let's do the same for the destination. There you go. Let's remove this debug log, is not needed anymore. Let's go back here and let's restart this one. Set origin, set destination, and send. And there you go. Now we have a process in which we can get a location, a coordinate, sorry, as an origin, and another one as the destination, and it will creates me a new route that we can use, right? So let's set the origin right here. Let's set the destination something a little bit farther, like here, and let's send. And there you go. It creates me the exact route that I need to follow to go there, right? So here you go. Okay, that will be all for now. I hope you learned something new. You can see that we are going to be improving a lot in apphivehq. The first thing that we are improving is that we are adding new utility functions that you can use to validate, to create, to transform the properties on your data directly in code that you can research as JavaScript, because this is plain JavaScript. You can use everything that is here in almost any browser. The other thing that we learned today is how to set an environment variable and how to use an environment. Sorry, we didn't show you how to use an environment variable. We show you how to do an HTTP request to Google in order to get a route from Google. And I actually show you how to monitor the use of your quotas, right? Which is right here. How many requests do you have to your key? And the other thing that I show you is how to restrict your API key to only allow requests from one of the APIs from Google, not all of them, right? So in this case, we are using the directions API, which is right here, and we can delete the keys from the console, which is actually a little bit useful, because I'm going to delete this key because it's not it's in the video and I don't want it in the video, so I'm going to delete it. I don't know why it is not letting me delete it from here, but we can go here and delete, and it's going to be deleted. Okay, it's making me confirm that I want to delete it because it is potentially being used in production. And if I delete a key that is in production, it's going to be a lot bad, a lot worse than from debugging. And there you go. It doesn't return me the route because the API key is no longer valid. Okay, so that's it's going to be everything for now. Remember to let me know what your questions are about apphivehq, about technical stuff, about JavaScript, about best practices, anything you want, right? So I'm going to be seeing you next Monday. Have a great one. Bye.